The pre-arb bonus pool is a success, and here's why it matters. Last week, MLB disclosed how the pre-arbitration bonus pool was distributed. You probably caught one big headline. Paul Skenes earned a record $3,436,343 bonus for his standout second season. That figure is exciting, and it underscores my view that a compensation system more closely tying pay to performance is a straightforward win. Yet beyond Skenes' record payday, the pool's reach was broad. $50 million in total bonuses distributed to 101 players across all 30 teams. My read on this development is very positive. The pool, a feature of the latest collective bargaining agreement, is funded by $1.67 million from each team every year, fueling the $50 million payout. Bonuses range from $2.5 million for Skenes' Cy Young Year Excellence down to $150,000 for Daylen Lile's fifth-place Rookie of the Year finish. The remainder goes to the top 100 pre-arbitration players based on a war-based formula calculated jointly by MLB and the MLB Players Association, according to a predefined ratio. At first glance, this didn't seem like a marquee part of the CBA when it was negotiated. But in practice, it has become a meaningful transformation for the league. Baseball's pay structure has long undercompensated early career players. The service time model typically locks pre-arb players into the minimum salary, with occasional modest bumps above the floor. The minimum was $760,000 in 2025. For example, the Pirates paid Skenes $875,000 this year. Under the old system, Skenes would likely have earned around $1.6 million in 2024 and 2025, far less than the $7.2 million he's earned under the new scheme. That difference is hard to argue against. Christopher Sanchez offers an even starker example. He didn't have a huge amateur signing bonus, yet he now earns a larger portion of his compensation from on-field value and endorsements. By the end of 2024, Sanchez had been paid roughly $2.5 million in salary over his first 2+ seasons. A new contract extended in 2025 to about $3.55 million brought his total deal value to around $6 million. The bonus pool added another $3.5 million over the previous 3 years, a meaningful shift in earnings for a rising star. Think of the bonus pool as a subsidy to teams that cultivate and promote young talent. The money is distributed evenly across all 30 franchises, rather than being charged directly to the team employing each player. This design allows teams with deeper, stronger farm systems to reward their pre-arbitration contributors more fairly without shouldering a heavier financial burden themselves. Take the Milwaukee Brewers as a concrete example. Skenes took the top individual bonus, but Milwaukee captured the most total pool money among teams. 10 Brewers shared $4,742,392 in bonuses, led by Bryce Turang with $1.15 million. That individual figure isn't a league high, but the team's overall allocation reflects a broad cohort of productive pre-arb players. Here's the full breakdown of the 2025 pre-arb bonus pool by team. ML 10 players, $4,742,392 total. Pitt 5 players, $4,362,309 total. ATH 4 players, $3,103,411 total. PHI 1 player, $2,678,437 total. CHC 3 players, $2,548,721 total. BOS 5 players, $2,303,753 total. HOU 1 player, $2,206,538 total. ARI 3 players, $2,117,416 total. MIA 6 players, $1,976,000 total. TBR 4 players, $1,963,124 total. Det 6 players, $1,914,238 total. KCR 4 players, $1,909,309 total. CIN 4 players, $1,766,368 total. SEA 2 players, $1,762,742 total. ATL 3 players, $1,732,122 total. STL 5 players, $1,527,976 total. NYY 5 players, $1,486,327 total. Tex 4 players, $1,300,082 total. CHW 4 players, $1,231,452 total. Was 3 players, $978,527 total. SDP 3 players, $925,033 total. Ball 2 players, $874,269 total. CLE 3 players, $860,536 total. TOR 3 players, $775,998 total. LAA 2 players, $756,247 total. LAD 2 players, $761,948 total. SFG 1 player, $494,307 total. SUL 1 player, $460,214 total. NYM 1 player, $270,987 total. Min 1 player, $209,217 total. Remarkably, this marks the first time every team had at least one player receive a bonus. More importantly, the pool's design tends to reward teams that consistently develop young, productive players. A mix of small market clubs and big market teams with strong development programs benefited, highlighting that good talent development is a universal asset, not merely a luxury for wealthier franchises. Here are the long-run numbers illustrating the pool's impact since 2022, showing how teams have cumulatively benefited across years. Table of 2022 to 2025 totals by team omitted for readability in this summary. From a qualitative standpoint, the Pre-Arb pool is a clear success. It channels additional funds to players who have historically earned less per unit of value contributed, and the distribution pattern appears broadly intuitive. But is the exact amount right? To gauge this, a bit of math was done, pulling salary and WAR data from 2019 through 2025 and grouping players by contractual status using both COTS contracts and roster resource to harmonize sources where contract details are not always straightforward. A key observation is that the share of WAR produced by pre-arbitration, arbitration, and post-free agency players has remained relatively stable across the period, even as the CBA shifted. Share of WAR by service time group, 2019 to 2025. Pre-Arb. Old CBA 38.4%, new CBA 40.7%. Arb. Old CBA 33.44%, new CBA 30.46%. Free agent. Old CBA 28.16%, new CBA 28.83%. In terms of salary allocation, the Pre-Arb group has not seen a dramatic rise in share of contracted salaries, even though more value is being created by these players. Before the pool, Pre-Arb players accounted for about 14.2% of contracted salaries. After introducing the pool, the figure sits at roughly 15.36%. The Arb and free agent shares adjust accordingly but stay in a similar ballpark. Dollars per WAR tell a similar story. Before the pool, the Pre-Arb plus Arb group earned about $1,500,135 per WAR, old CBA, rising to $1,711,416, plus 14.1%, in the new CBA. For arbitration players, the jump was larger, and for free agents, the increase was around 17.9%. After factoring in the bonus pool, the distribution looks even more favorable to Pre-Arb players. The share of salary plus bonus allocated to Pre-Arb rises to about 15.36% under the new CBA, while the per-WAR value increases to roughly $1,834,735, up by 22.3% from the old CBA, compared with 27.3% for arbitration and 17.9% for free agents. In short, the pre-arbitration bonus pool is doing exactly what it set out to do: raise salaries for players who have historically been undercompensated relative to their on-field contribution. The data suggests the approach is effective and fair, and there's room to expand it, potentially to include players who are already arbitration eligible. The mechanics could be adjusted, and there's flexibility in how WAR is calculated or how awards are structured, but the overarching trend is clear. This instrument